Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Talent Tap podcast. My name is Danny Lachmandas, host and founder of Crintalo. We help businesses generate consistent qualified client opportunities through an AI-powered growth engine. And with us today, we have Stan Sher, founder of eDealer Training. How are you doing, Stan?
It's good. I'm good. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, glad to have you on. Where are you calling in from today?
I am from Marlton, New Jersey, about
Okay,
25 minutes from Philadelphia.
okay, yeah, I have some good friends in Philadelphia. I've never been to Philly, or I've been to some parts of Jersey, the parts of Jersey that are really close to New York City, I guess. I've
Yep.
been to New York City quite a few times, so good time for sure. Not a big fan of the cold. But yeah, tell me a little bit about your background, how you kind of started back in the day and how you got to where you are today and starting the company.
Well, the year is 2003. I'm 20 years old. Just finished high school about a year and a half before that. And I was going to school to be a school teacher and got into the car business just by pure action. Needed to make some more money. I've been hustling since I was 14. At that point, I had bought a brand new car. I paid for my first semester of college. And my parents moved out to Florida and I didn't want to move with them. So I'm going to be a big boy now. I rented an apartment and 4 months in, I went broke, so I needed to pay my bills, so I started selling cars. And, after training, about a week of training, I got put on the floor, and on my first day, I sold 2 cars to a gentleman, and then a few hours later, his brother came in. So I made $1,000. I was like, never made $1,000 before in a day. So that was it. The bug bit me, and little by little, my grades started to get worse because I was more focused on work than I was on school. And I think the thing that really ended school for me was, I was going to night class. I was taking American history too. And I got this adjunct professor telling me about, I'm like, what do you do during your daily life? He's like, oh, I do IT for a library. I make $500 a week. And then I'm like, oh, and then you do this. So I'm like, this guy has all these degrees and the guy makes very little money. I made $1,700 last week. I'm 20 years old. I'm like, what am I doing wrong here? So little by little, my grade slipped, and next thing you know, I'm in the business full time. And then by 23, I got promoted. I became an internet director. I ran a couple of big stores. I ran a Honda store, a Nissan store, and from there, I ended up working at I worked for a little company called Red Numbat back in 2007 to 2009. It was a startup. I was hoping to build it, but we couldn't get enough funding, so we ended up going out of business. And then in 2010, after I left Tay Nissan, I started dealer retraining, which is still in existence. I basically work with automotive dealers, vendors, and OEM clients. I recently finished up a big project with Ford, and that's pretty much what I do. I do consulting work.
Okay, yeah. So what do you consult these big companies on? Like what exactly are you consulting them on?
So I started out as a BDC, Business Development Center trainer. So basically, I do work with dealerships, call centers, and marketing departments. Nowadays, I help them with their AI solutions. What's a better AI? Or maybe I'll help deploy a campaign. But a lot of it is phone training, CRM training as far as changing up the email templates. You'd be surprised. You go into a dealership and they're still sending COVID emails. We're in 2026. So I go in and I fix those things for car dealers. And then, of course, as I said, phone training. You sometimes go and set up a full BDC department, where we help hire a manager and, 5, 6 people. And I train them on that. With the OEMs, I worked with Hyundai for 3 years. I worked with Ford for 2 years. I focused a lot on other operations. I focused on service. I focused on with Ford, and initially I did stuff with their used cars, with their Blue Advantage program. Last year we focused on guest experience, on how to treat people as a guest. So yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, no, that is very interesting. You're the first person I've talked to that does consulting for, I guess, dealerships. And I find a lot of entrepreneurs nowadays, they have a background in some sales and specifically car sales. A lot of successful entrepreneurs, a lot of them started out doing some type of car sales or real estate or something like that. What would you say has been some of the biggest challenges you've faced in your career? And how did you navigate them?
The biggest challenges are always going to be rejection. When I was selling cars, it's always rejection. You're always competing against 5 other dealers or more. On the consulting side, it's, I hate to say it, there's a lot of people that don't want training. I prospect dealers all the time. Oh no, and it's like, oh no, we're good, we're good. Like, really, you're that good? And then you mystery shop them, and you find out that they're not good. 95% of salespeople, maybe more like 98%, are bad at answering leads. They're bad at answering questions, especially after COVID. Everyone's got the take it or leave it mentality, even though it's harder to sell a car now more than ever because the inventory's back, COVID's over with, and we're back to selling cars like we used to sell cars. But most salespeople do not know how to overcome an objection. As soon as you tell them on the phone that you're good, you're going to go shop somewhere else, they don't stop and sell. They're just like, okay, cool, have a great day. They don't ask for your name, don't ask for your phone number. And it's just weak. It's just a weak way of conducting guest experience, in my opinion. And I'd love to change it, but it's hard. It's harder than ever now. I feel like digital technology has made things for the worse in some cases.
Yeah, and it's just something with sales, and I've never done car sales. I've always thought I'd be a really good car salesman, never got the chance to do it. But I think you know, and I know also in sales in general, sometimes you got to be relentless, you got to be ruthless, right? You can't let those rejections, let those no's bring you down. It's just it's part of it, right?
Yeah,
You getting told no is just your next step to getting your yes. If someone told you you had to get 100 no's to get one yes, how quick would you try and get those 100 no's?
I would
You
I
know?
would go through as many as I can very quickly.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just a mindset with sales that not everyone has. It's something that is acquired, and that does come with closing deals with which builds your confidence. When you close deals, your confidence builds. So it's all a process. It's definitely all a process. What would you say excites you most about the future of your industry, and what trends do you anticipate seeing in the next few years?
I mean, it started. The whole AI thing started, right? I talked to an AI company this morning that handles every single department from sales to service, even detail, right? I it's it's exciting. It's also scary. I'm seeing training is going by the wayside a lot. I'm starting to work on a couple other things here. I'm looking to maybe start a little ad agency now. I'm trying to partner with a couple of people. I'm waiting on a couple of NDAs to sign. I'm looking to build that as the future of dealer retraining, and then of course we're going to be able to sell dealer retraining as well. I feel like you know these dealers, they don't really wanna spend a bunch of money to have you come in and train on site. I feel like it's more remote now. I talked to another training company that I do some business with, this morning about maybe creating a concept where we just train and charge a monthly fee. It's interesting right now. I'm coming off, 2 of the hardest months I've ever had in business right now, and that's the lesson for me is, uh trading's not what it used to be. And so, now I'm just looking to evolve. I'm looking at different LMS systems. I'm looking at who am I going to partner with? What's inexpensive that I can maybe do video on demand training? Maybe go out, maybe build a few hundred videos and libraries and, build it out and just go out and sell it for, I don't know, 7.95. That might be the future for me.
Yeah, and it's all about adapting, right? We have to adapt with this world today. I mean, AI, as much as people don't like it, I think it's here to stay, kind of like the internet. Like if you go back to the 90s, people were a little skeptical about the internet. I think we're in the same age with AI right now as the internet was in the 90s. It was starting to become accepted, and then now today, if you were to walk down the road and ask 10 people, do you have a smartphone? 10 out of 10 people would say yes. Everyone is using the internet all the time. And I think that's where we're going to be with AI in the next 5 to 10 years, maybe sooner. And
It's going.
yeah, it's here to stay whether you like it or not. And I don't believe that AI can fully replace the human. I don't think we're there yet. Maybe we will be someday, but I believe that AI is best used by someone that knows how to use it effectively.
I agree.
The the people that are being trained on it, those are the new jobs that are going to be opening up. Businesses are looking for people that know how to use AI because like you said, like I said, everywhere you look, AI is on the news, it's on the internet. You see it everywhere. There's AI tools
Yep.
being used everywhere.
Very exactly. I think a lot of it with AI right now is everyone's getting excited. People are even replacing their business development centers with it. and then eventually 6 months later they're going back to it because you still need a person to manage it. And
Mhm.
a lot of people
100%.
don't realize that, so that they sign up and it becomes a big mess. And it's like, great, how do you fix it? Works for me because that's when I get the phone call to come fix a big mess and make a bunch of money. But, it's not quite ready. It also depends on the program. I went to NADA 2 weeks ago. Vendors out there, everybody was preaching AI. We have AI technology for this. It got to be too much.
Yeah, and you just have to be cautious and do your homework and just learn. I think being an open book in this day and age is a good thing because there's always something to learn, always more to learn. That's how I try to be, and just be cautious. Like do your homework. Like I said, is just kind of figure out what's going on. But from your perspective, what are the key areas where AI is creating the most significant disruption, and how can businesses prepare?
I think it's helping create a need for less people in certain, if I'm doing a call center with 5 people, I would get rid of 2 people and I would have AI do the work of 2 people, 3 people. That's one. I'm looking at programs now where if I'm a used car manager, I can use AI technology to set up the wording for my listings, right? By pressing a button. I mean, it's literally meant to make people's lives easier, not so much replace them. Although I do see less people in the workforce. I'm noticing job market right now is brutal. What kills me is I'm looking at other avenues too right now, right? I'm looking at a couple different things and you put an ad out there and you're looking for people and then you apply and you instantly get rejected because you have to have an ATS formatted resume, which I don't remember how that having to be a big thing, but now that's big. And now you have to used to be able to send out a resume a million times and get, a couple of people responding. Now, no one's even looking at you. So now you have to get more creative and it annoys me because I look at some of these jobs even and it's like you have to spend an hour to apply for a damn job. And I don't know about you, but I'm not spending an hour applying for something that I'm not even going to be looked at. It's a waste of my time. So it's things like that. I don't think AI is going to replace technicians. We're going to need people to fix cars. Obviously, you don't have to work too hard to fix an EV vehicle, right? There's no oil changes or anything like that. Maybe a battery and tires, but I do feel like it's going to start taking away little by little. I don't think we're going to be buying cars from AI robots. It will be interesting to see if that happens, but I think we still need people skills. We need people skills more than ever now, and we don't have
Mhm.
them, and that's what's killing the business, in my opinion.
Yeah, we don't want that human element to be taken away because again, sales is such a very high touch industry, especially in car sales. You need that person to person contact that still
Yeah,
needs to be there. And with AI, what I found is it's making things more efficient and quicker. Things that would take people, 20, 30 hours a week to do, I can do that in a few hours. And then those people that were spending those 20, 30 hours a week, they can allocate that time to something more important, something
correct,
that does need the human to do. And that is how businesses will grow. You can let the AI handle the things that you don't need to do anymore, and you can focus
correct,
your time and energy on the things that can matter more to grow your business, the sales, right?
correct.
So it's just a lot of ways that AI is making things faster, faster and more efficient.
Yeah.
What would you say are some of the common pain points you observe in businesses trying to integrate AI? And what would advice would you offer them?
The biggest pain points is they need to if you're gonna integrate something, you need to manage it. That's really what it is. Now, what's interesting to me is I feel like AI is great for marketing. Like, I used to do social media marketing for dealers and other companies, right? And I used to have to really physically work hard on it. Now I can create a post within seconds. I could probably do a month's worth of campaigns for a client, and not have to spend you know, all this time, especially for the clients that don't spend a lot of money with you. You get a $500 client and they want the world for $500, and you get a $5,000 client and they're more easygoing, right? I've learned that over the years, and it's the same thing here. I feel like on those less expensive clients, you can actually provide more value now with AI assisted. In my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely agree with that. When advising a company on AI strategy, what are the first few steps you recommend they take to ensure a successful implementation.
The first few steps is who's going to manage it and who's going to program it and who's going to fix it when it breaks. That's always the big thing. Don't just sign up for a product and not be ready to manage it. If you're not going to be ready to manage it, don't even waste your time and money. Just keep doing it the old way that you've been doing it, right? That's always the biggest caution that I make. And then with that is who's going to be studying this stuff to constantly be better, because AI is only as good as we are as humans, right? So, go out, study, go grab a course, whatever it is. There's a million of them out there. Go watch YouTube. And then what can you retain and what could you be able to utilize to help manage that AI a little better? I would say the human capital of it is probably the biggest issue for me.
Yeah, and it's about finding someone that is willing to learn about AI and train on it, or is already trained
Yep.
on how to use it. Because I mean, everyone has access to AI now, from, your 16-year-old kid to your 80-year-old grandmother.
Yep.
And the difference is, do they know how to use it? I know I've said it before, but the
Yeah.
people that know, like, you can implement someone into a business to use AI and someone else that knows how to use it, and they will get completely different results. The AI does do a lot of the work, but a lot of it is with prompting, knowing how to use it correctly. And if that does make a big difference in what AI does, is, like I
Yeah.
said, the human role involved in it. So I believe that's also key, is the business finding the right person to use it for them, to
Yeah.
implement it.
And then the other thing for me is, I want to kind of get into, I wrote this book, The Conversation Effect, right? And I'm not going to lie, I use ChatGPT, but I used it not in a way that people think. I didn't have ChatGPT write me this book. What I had ChatGPT do is I had to come up with some scientific stuff. I was looking for some good quotes, right? So I had AI come up with a couple of quotes to use. I was looking for, because it's a book on conversation skills, I was looking for a couple of examples of how I would approach something. It certainly helped me. AI helped me write a book. AI helped me come up with how many chapters, helped me come up with a name. I spent an hour on AI playing around with a name. The things that I used to take me a long time to do. I remember I also wrote a book a couple of years ago, right? And I didn't have AI. Well, AI had just started, but I didn't use it for anything. And I could see a big difference on the quality of the book itself. I had a human being that edited the book and didn't do a great job with it. It is what it is. Maybe one day I'll rewrite the book if I get a chance. But, this actually allowed me to word things smarter. I used it to my advantage for sure.
No, and that's the way to do it, right? Help you become quicker and more efficient, and just approach it with caution, and get it done, get the job
Yeah.
done. How do you approach identifying the right AI tools or platforms for a specific business problem, considering the vast and rapidly evolving AI landscape?
That's hard. There was, a lot of vendors at NADA. The problem is I was able to spot who's who and who's doing a good job. A lot of it is, and you're not always gonna know, the ones that are constantly focused on growing it. And there's companies out there that just starting out, they might not be so good, they might be great in 6 months, right? I'll tell you, 5 months ago, I was in a car dealership. I was looking at an AI program, listening to how the AI agent answers a call, and there was a long pause. I didn't like that, and I was like, "You guys aren't ready. Like, you guys got a 10-second pause. I already know I'm talking to AI. I'm out." Now, I see companies that I'm gonna partner with, actually, a couple of them, that there's no pause. It holds a straight conversation. That just shows you how quickly
Evolving.
we're evolving with AI. So, I may say no to somebody right now, but I'm gonna say yes in 6 months because it's got practice.
And it's evolving so quick. I think it is. I mean, it's evolving so much quicker than even the internet. I mean, we don't even know where we might be 6 months from now, much less 3 to 5 years from now. It's kind of crazy to think about. To be honest, it is.
Yep,
It's quite insane.
very true.
Have you had any, like, aha moments or unexpected discoveries while working with AI that have changed your perspective?
Oh, it's an interesting one. I feel like it made me smarter because I will look something up, I will read it, I will retain it. So I feel like it certainly made me smarter. Moments. I'm constantly blown away by how quickly I can create a post or a graphic or
Yeah.
But the aha moments with that even to me are AI is not ready for it. You go on ChatGPT, create a graphic, and the graphics all broken up. So
Yeah,
it's not.
it can be very, very, what's the word? Frustrating.
Yes.
Frustrating sometimes using it to create graphics. You're reprompting it 10 times.
Yes.
It can be I'm sure it will get better. And there's so many different platforms for graphic creation now. There's so much out there.
Yeah.
But, I guess to close this out, what is one aspect of AI that personally excites you the most?
Uh, I would say as much as I hate it, but it also is exciting, is how many less people I will need to pay on payroll to do something. That's
Yeah.
probably, like as a person that might be looking for a job, it sucks because there's less opportunity. I have to go out and learn new skills, right? But as a person that is a business owner that has to make payroll and pay bills every month, I get excited that I get to save $500 a month on something because of using it. I'll give you an example. I had a person employed by me all last year. His job was to curate videos and social media, and I let him go at the end of December. One, because business is slow, but two, because uh, on average I'm getting the same three people liking my content, and everyone's telling me, "Oh, I see your content. You have all this great content." Yeah, I do, but guess what? I'm paying a person, and as much as he's making nice content. I'm not getting the visibility that I want. So why would I pay him when I could do the same thing? I'm using programs like Riverside and I think Opulus or whatever it's called. I'm using three different programs, and I'm taking a video and I'm putting it in there, breaking it up, and I'm getting the same results on $100 a year membership as I would paying a guy 500-600 bucks a month. So I think that's a big one for me. I don't have to spend money on manpower to get the same results.
Yeah, and it also goes back to the people that might be struggling to find a job in today's day and age. Maybe they need to look into learning more about AI or taking some AI courses because the jobs that will be opening up in the future will be for people that know how to use AI. So that's a good bit of
Correct.
advice for people that might be struggling to find a job in today's day and age.
Correct, correct. So, I mean,
But yeah,
that's it for me, I mean, pretty much.
yeah, thanks for coming on. I enjoyed speaking to you, and I'll put Stan's LinkedIn in the URL in the description. I'll give him a follow on LinkedIn, help him
Sure.
out. Check out his books too. Thanks for coming on though. Enjoyed speaking to you.
Thank you, likewise, thank you.
Yep. Catch y'all next time, everyone.
Right.